Hey y'all, it's Bennett, and it's time for another pickups video. Vacation edition!
Spring break! Yeah!
Yes, that's right. I did not go to a yard sale lately, this past week. Instead, I went to the beach. And when we go to the beach, we also check out the video game stores in the area. And where I go is kind of near Pensacola, and it's kind of near parts of Alabama, including Foley, and I checked out video game stores in each of these locations, and some other places to boot, and I'm going to show you what I picked up while I was out of town. So let's get on right to it. First thing was at the flea market in Pensacola. J&T flea market, I believe. Maybe it's T&J. Maybe there's a picture right here. Yeah. Anyway, at the flea market, they have, outdoor booths all up and down, bunch of aisles outside, and then they have a few kind of more permanent stores inside, and in there are two video game stores for the picking. So outdoor-wise, I searched up and down, and there's only one place that had games that were anything notable, and it was big stacks of Xbox games and 360 and PS3, and they were going to be too pricey to even bother kind of negotiating over, and there wasn't anything great in there anyway, so moved on to the interior, and at one of the stores I didn't have any success this time around, but the other one, I chatted with the guy who runs it for quite a while about all sorts of different things in terms of video game collecting, so that was fun, and a super nice guy. And while I was there, I picked up a couple of games for the original Xbox, and that would be Dragon's Lair 3D, which the subtitle Return to the Lair, so a sequel to the arcade favorite. And yeah, in-game movies by acclaimed animation director Don Bluth, just like the arcade game. Does this have all the arcade stuff? I don't know. I mean, I can play that on emulator or whatever anytime I want, but this I can play on the regular original Xbox. Huzzah, and it's complete. Yep. And then we have Dinotopia, and it is also complete. And I know zilch about this. It just, I don't know, looked like something amusing to add to the collection. Yep, I'm still loading up on the original Xbox, and yeah, so defend the island of Dinotopia as you battle against the most dangerous foes. I don't know. Am I fighting dinosaurs? Am I protecting dinosaurs? Doing a little bit of both? We'll find out. Yeah, Dinotopia, this was 10, and that was marked 18, and they got it for 25 together, so that's perfectly fine. Not, bargain of the century, but, good enough. And so that was it for the flea market. But then I moved on to one of my favorite stores in that area called Hyperspace Toys. And they're in a new location from the last time I was there. So now they're in a bigger, more open space, and they have all their retro toys and goodies all laid out all across the big store space. And I have a relatively modest video game section, but I've had a lot of good success with them before and did pretty well this time as well. Oh, and I'm about to yeet one of the things off the table here. Alright, well, first of all, I got a new plush Jason, official Friday the 13th plush guy. So that's always fun. Go with the Friday the 13th collection. I'm gonna kill you! You've been a bad camp counselor! You're a dead meat! Alright, we got Jason. Alright, and We got a couple of these here, NES sleeves and a Super Nintendo cart sleeve. These are always something I'm on the lookout for. They're $1 a piece, and that's a pretty decent price. Sometimes you see them up to like $5 a piece, which is absurd. But you know, you gotta have these if you're collecting the original, you know, old school carts. So dust covers, dust sleeves are of vital importance. So $1 a piece. That was pretty good. And let's see, we got these classic old school classics, including Golgo 13 Top Secret Episode. This is complete. It was like $30, which is pretty decent price for it. It's in real good shape, and it already came with a box, so that's positive. Only you can help him save the world. And this has the legendary Agent Golgo 13, who's never failed on a mission, and he gets to assassinate people and smoke cigarettes and get with the ladies and all that good stuff. So this was fairly adult material for the NES days, so that's kind of cool. And yeah, now it is in the old collection. Next we have World Heroes 2 for the Super Nintendo. This is missing the manual, but there we go. As it says there, but it was a good price and has the game and box, and it's in a case, so I'm all for that. And of course, this is the fighting game series World Heroes that was found on the Neo Geo and all that stuff. Somehow they have managed to squeeze it onto a Super Nintendo cartridge, so that's pretty fun. I'm looking forward to giving it a try. And finally, from Hyperspace Toys, I got Shadowgate. This is also complete. It was $40. And if you don't know about some Shadowgate, well, I used to play this when I was a kid. I had my own copy that I think I got for my birthday or something. And it is a, NES version of a point and click, where you can select what actions you want to take and try using different things on different objects. Like, do you want to use a torch on that tapestry and burn it off the wall, and there'll be a hidden alcove behind it, and you can take the key and so on and so forth. So this is a lot of fun and brings back some good memories to me. And I happened to recently see a playthrough of this on YouTube, and so I kind of had it in my head. And then when I found it complete at Hyperspace Toys, I was super stoked to pick it up, and it's in good condition and already boxed up in a protector case. So awesome. It's got some cool old school stuff at Hyperspace Toys. I did not pick up any Transformers or Ghostbusters toys, much as I may have wanted to. They had lots to choose from and pick over and everything, but I can't go down that road. Too expensive. But they're pretty awesome to see all that stuff on the shelf. Alright, next we moved on to a place I had not been to before, that I just found on, when I googled it on Bing, and it is called the Video Game Trading Post. And when I got in there, I was amazed at the sites that were in front of me. They had walls lined with PS2, Xbox 360, PS3, etc. All the way around. You had a lot of PS1 and Dreamcast and Sega Saturn and Genesis, and another wall had Nintendo 64 in box, and Super Nintendo and NES in box, and then there were 3DS and 2DS and Wii, GameCube, everywhere. They had huge selections of everything. Switch and PS4 and PS5 and all that stuff. All the way around the room. They had lots of plush animal things and statuettes and all that kind of good stuff. And what was really like mind-boggling was how many awesome old school systems they had. Not to mention all the cool stuff on like the top that were boxed old school systems and accessories and things like that. Like I guess like but in a case they had several different colors of GameCube. Of N64, and they had the lineup of Sega Genesis Plus CD, and then Saturn and Dreamcast, and then they had bunch of 3DSs and 2DSs and all that stuff lined up, in box, out of box, etc., etc. And what really was striking my fancy was a boxed TurboGrafx 16 with a whole bunch of games for it, just sitting right there waiting for the right buyer, which unfortunately this time was not me, but believe me, I thought about it a lot, because it was, you don't get to see, I knew the box was in good shape, everything looked great. You don't get to see that stuff in just regular game stores very often. And then around the corner from the systems, they had the glass cases were full of the more expensive games and some sealed stuff that was worth money, and then some regular games that were worth crazy money. Like they had the like trio of PS2 Holy Grails, Kuan and Haunting Ground and Rule of Rose, just lined right up, ready to go. They had 2 Rule of Roses. Come on, when do you see that? Not to mention Saturn Magic Knight Ray Earth, and just all the things that you hear about going for 4 figures and extremely rare. They had lots of special edition things and just things you don't see anywhere. They had them all, and it was so mind blowing that like I couldn't deal with it. I walked around the store for like an hour and did how many laps I don't know, looking at everything. And I eventually settled. One of the first things I did was go up to their case of loose Super Nintendo games and ask if they had like one of the last games that I need to fill in a Super Nintendo box that I got somewhere. And sure enough, they did. And so that's how I got Wolverine Adamantium Rage. So now I can box that up and put it on the shelf. Wolverine doing his thing, getting all ragey. And I was 20. And like they had lots of loose DS games and GBA and that sort of thing too, and original Game Boy. And I looked over, some of that too to see if I could fill in some boxes. But again, it was kind of mind blowing. So I eventually settled on, in addition to Wolverine Adamantium Rage, I got 2 original Xbox games, unusual ones, but not by any means like valuable or rare or whatever you want to call it. We got World War II Prisoner of War from the fine folks at Codemasters, and it's a new kind of escape adventure. So you gotta escape your World War II prison. Pretty cool, and it's complete. I like the manual, looks cool, like a little prisoner notebook kind of thing. Anyway, that was a mighty $6. And then I got Crime Life Gang Wars from Konami, which is no doubt a GTA ripoff. and that sounds fun to me. Delve into modern-day urban gang culture as Trey struggles to survive and rise in the ranks of the Outlaws with the Z gang. But watch your back on the streets because the rival, more powerful headhunters with a Z crew is ready to fight and die for street supremacy. So I'm looking forward to giving that a play. It's probably going to be bad. But who knows? It's got 25 plus bass thumping tracks, including such artists as D12, Doom Man, Jason Fleming, and hip hop from all over the group. Okay. Oh, ooh, and features the voices, likenesses, and exclusive music from the members of the hit rap collective D12. That, if I remember right, is Dirty Dozen. Is that what they were called? Who did Purple Pills that with Eminem on the track. So there you go. We'll see how much fun that is. But it's complete. And it was $10. So the other place that we went was a place I had gone before called Price Busters Games and Movies, or Movies and Games, or something. Anyway, over time they have really narrowed down their video game selection significantly, and more and more of the store is taken up by collectible card game stuff and Funko Pops as usual. Really, they're more of a card store than anything at this point. Lots of Pokemon as far as the eye can see, which is great for anybody that wants that, but it's not what I'm looking for. So out of all the things they did have at the store, and I looked over everything, I wound up getting 2 Game Boy Color games to go in the boxes I have, and so that's Toy Story 2 and Logical. Both were $5 a piece, which is about right. So yeah, I spent a long time looking, poring over all the stuff they had, which wasn't altogether that much, but you never knew when you might find something cool. In the end, just found a couple of GBA games to fill in some boxes. Alright, and then another time we went to this, those are all in Pensacola. This next place was in Foley, Alabama, which is near-ish the Pensacola area. It's like Pensacola and Perdido Key, Orange Beach, Foley. Y'all know that place if you've been there. It's where the Floribama is, kind of between Orange Beach and Perdido Key, and then you go around to Foley. Home of the Throwed Roll at Lambert's. If you know it, then you know. Anyway, but went down the road in Foley to Action, Game, and Movie. And I believe that I'd seen them on Retro Rick, maybe. Possibly Phoenix Resale, but I think it was Retro Rick. Anyway, one of those places. One of those cool YouTuber guys had been here before. And so they were on my radar, and checking them out, we found a loose copy of X-Men Legends 2, Rise of Apocalypse. And that was $13, and that will fill in the GameCube box of this game that I've had for a very long time and go up on the shelf. And we also found a complete in-box copy of Madden 94, which I have a loose copy of already, but it was $14. Not the best price in the world, but I'll be happy to add it to the shelf. This was the Madden game I played the most in the 16-bit era, and so my heart's still with it, even though it's probably not the best of that time period. It's the one that I come back to, so I have to have it on the shelf in the complete in-box form. So that was cool. That was one of the very few, complete in-box games they had from the 16-bit era. They had a ton of Sega Genesis sports games, but other than that, it was slim pickings. But in the loose carts, they had to fill in another box. Actually, the last Super Nintendo box that I need filling in, David Crane's Amazing Tennis. It's amazing, so they say. This was $3, and I'm sure it's worth every penny. If the title is anything to be believed, it's amazing. But yeah, I'm looking for David Crane's Amazing Tennis, and $3 is just the kind of price I wanted to pay. So there we go, another one to fill up. I think that was my last empty Super Nintendo box, and they're all on the shelf now. Pretty cool. All right, so that could have been it for all my video game hunting in this vacation, but I kept thinking about that video game trading post and all their high-end stuff, and I was like, do I want to go back and splurge on a, on a decent Super Nintendo game or N64 or something, or on some box Nintendo games there. I looked over their the pictures I had of their selection for quite a while, and eventually I did decide to go back. And what I went for was not the Super Nintendo stuff or anything of that nature. It was, well, I'll show you in a second. The other thing I went for was back to the Xbox section, just because they had a lot of Xbox games that were in really good condition. And so I picked up a bunch. So we got Aquaman on the original Xbox, and it's complete. It was $8, which is probably a little bit more than I should have paid, because this game is, crap. I really enjoyed the episode of Worst Games Ever from Triple Jump on this particular game.
Yeah,
it's not. Oh, I'm sorry. Were you hoping to explore the beautiful Atlantean city?
Yes.
I'm afraid not. Oh, can we go through it?
I feel sick.
Can we? This is not the developers intended. Look at his little feet go.
There he goes. Perfect thumbnail material.
What do you think of his nice little harpoon arm?
And I wanted to give it a try myself. I'm a sucker for bad games, just as I am a sucker for good games. So, yep, Aquaman. Follow that up with another DC superhero, Batman, with Rise of Sin Tzu. And I want to say this one is actually supposed to be pretty good. I could be wrong. But you do get to play. I think the art style is more akin to the 90s Batman cartoon, which is cool. You can play, it's like a beat 'em up, so you can play 2-player co-op, I guess, beat 'em up, and get to play as Batman, Robin, Batgirl, or Nightwing, and looks like you can face off with Clayface and whoever all else. So that looks like fun. It's complete, and it was only $15. Then we had, go skip ahead to this, Brute Force, an Xbox exclusive that I thought I already had in the collection, but I did not. It's complete, and it's $6. I want to say this was a really early one on the Xbox, like maybe a launch title, maybe not, but yeah, it's shooting dudes, blowing stuff up, my kind of game. Another Xbox exclusive is Sudeki. Honestly, don't really know what all you do in this, other than reclaim a universe shattered by darkness and deceit, and control one of the 4 distinctive champions at any time. So I guess all those 4 people on the cover, you get to battle to something something. Anyway, Xbox exclusive, $7, and it's complete and, in way better condition than the copy I keep putting back at one of the other stores nearby that didn't have the manual and is really dirty and gross and stuff. Yeah, and speaking of Xbox exclusivity, I do believe it's exclusive. We have Shenmue 2, the follow-up to the Dreamcast hit Shenmue, and which I think I have on Dreamcast. Yeah, I do. And will I ever play either of these through? I really doubt it. But yeah, $15, decent price, and I've never seen this complete for this price, including the DVD of Shenmue the movie, as advertised on front. So that is extra cool that it has the movie disc. And finally, from the Xbox department, we have Svc Chaos Snk versus Capcom. And I can only assume this is pretty similar to Capcom versus SNK, that I also have on the Dreamcast. And this one is also complete. It was $35, which is a decent price, and can't beat fighting games between these two, legendary fighting game companies. I have not heard good, bad, or otherwise about this one, but I like fighting games. I like Xbox games. I guess I can still maybe win an arcade game on an arcade machine. I'll look into that. But yep, this is now in the collection too. Okay, and finally, what I really wanted to do was go back and take a look at the Sega Saturn stuff, because I'm starting to get into collecting for that. I've recently confirmed my Saturn works, and I've hooked it up and everything, and I have an action replay device that I picked up for it, but I don't know if it works yet, because I haven't been able to test it, because I hadn't had a Japanese game to play with it, because the idea anyway is that it has like 4 megabyte RAM booster, possibly the storage, I think, like memory card usage, and action replay functionality with like cheats and stuff, including the region unlocking so you can play Japanese games. And as everybody knows, there were a million more Japanese games for the Saturn than there were American games, and they're cheaper, and some of them are easy to understand, and then some of them are completely baffling and not worth trying to get through in the Japanese version. But there are plenty of games like shooters and fighters that the story is not so important, and you just want to have a good time with the game, so get the Japanese version, because it's a better deal, and just as good a game. So the video game trading post had numerous Japanese Saturn games, and I looked them all over, and some of them could not make heads or tails of what kind of game they even were, and so on. But I did finally find Last Bronx. Here, let me take it out of this little crinkly. Here's some more ASMR for you. Crinkle. Last Bronx, which is a fighting game from the fine folks at Sega, I believe. Yep. And right. And yeah. What does it have to do with the Bronx? Probably nothing. But it is a one-on-one fighter, and I've seen Sega Lord X talk about it being pretty good. And it's a fighter, so it's not going to be anything that it's gonna be too important in terms of not being able to read the text. So, and it's complete and at a half decent price, I reckon. So I didn't want to spend $100 on something that, you know, only to find out that the Japanese functionality doesn't work. So 35 or whatever this was is a much better price point. So, yep, this is my first official Japanese Saturn game, and hopefully it won't be the last. And speaking of the Sega Saturn, we also went ahead and picked up Virtua Fighter in this jewel case format. It looks kind of janky on the side there, so I don't know if this is an unofficial release or maybe this was like a pack-in version. All I know is the like long box version, US version, was like 60 or something, and this was 10. So you know, I can do math and decided that jewel case would be just fine. Yeah, so Virtua Fighter is, you know, Saturn classic. I think I already have Virtua Fighter 2. Something. I think. Anyway, more fighting games on the there's apparently a ton of good fighting games on the Saturn, especially in Japanese version. Anyway, and we also got Virtua Cop, also for $10 in this little sleeve, not for resale version. I'm almost certain that was a there was a like a 3-in-1 pack-in thing that had like Virtua Cop, Virtua Fighter, and well, they had the Nights into Dreams like demo disc, so maybe that was the third game that came with it, or maybe it was Virtua Racing. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, Virtua Cop. But you can't have Virtua Cop without a shooting device, so we got the Sega Stunner.
Oh my God, what a stunner!
Yeah, I believe it's called Sega Saturn Stunner. So, watch out, folks. We are ready to get stunning. Of course, this requires a old school TV, which is fortunately what I already have my Saturn hooked up to. So I'll be Virtua Copping before the end of the day. And yep, that was it. I now, you know, think I have a new favorite video game store in Video Game Trading Post, and I wish I could spend a lot more time and a lot more money on the stuff that they have there, because you could really rack up quite a collection from just that one store. But you gotta have some cash to do that, and I ran out of that real fast. So next order of business is to concentrate on selling some of this other stuff. So not the stuff in the collection, but the stuff that's kind of not pictured, that is ready to be sold, so that we can keep doing what we like to do, building a collection in the most fun way possible and without spending real money. So wish me luck. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.